the best thing that we can do, I think, as a sheriff's office and as a law enforcement agency is just to coordinate our efforts with whatever resources law enforcement-wise that we have in this area. I think the only way that we're going to combat it, number one, is to support and ask for stiffer penalties, regarding these type of criminal activities, in hopes that the consequences will deter the activity. But again, it's not happened yet. It's not going to happen soon, and it's just something that we're going to have to deal with in the best way that we have available to us.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Malin, talk about your feelings on the illegal drug use and distribution. How can law enforcement step up its efforts to rid the county of illegal drugs?
Well, first off, I think that illegal drug use is probably a good 95% of our problem within Roosevelt County. 95% of all of our crimes is what I'm saying, links back to drug use in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I think, again, we have to retain and we have to train. We have to keep our employees at the sheriff's office, so we got to get their pay up. We got to figure out a way, even in these tough financial times, to pay our guys better, because they're going out there and risking their lives every day for peanuts. And there's other places that'll pay them better. So we got to figure out a way to pay them better, and we got to train the guys better. When we have some good officers, they don't tend to stay around as long, again, because of the pay issue. We've lost some of our best drug interdictors out there because of that to neighboring agencies. We have been, since Darren was elected sheriff, and continue to be heavily involved with the Region 5 Drug Task Force. We've worked with the DEA on multiple occasions, and the Homeland Security. Again, Charles said a while ago, we have the Highway 70 running straight through Roosevelt County, which is a major artery for narcotics going through there. Since this administration has been in office, we've gotten a K-9 program going and continue. It's been successful. We've worked with Portales Police Department, Eastern New Mexico, adult probation and parole. Enforcement of drugs is, I think, the main thing that we have to do in Roosevelt County. We gotta stay tough on it, and we gotta stay after it, and we gotta train our guys to get better at it.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. Let's prepare for closing comments, and since Malin, you started, we're going to let Charles start the closing comments. And at this time, I'd also invite our candidates for magistrate court judge to make their way to the stage, and we'll prepare for that questioning here in a moment. But you have 2 minutes, up to 2 minutes on each of you, to share any other closing thoughts, what you think you ought, why people should vote for you, and what you bring to this candidacy for the Roosevelt County Sheriff. We'll start with you, Charles.
Okay, thank you, Don. In summary, I would like to just emphasize the importance of your vote, not just in this election, but in all elections. We live in a country that's fortunate to offer the freedom of choice by way of our great democracy. Our government, both federal and state, has over the years transformed the freedom of voting from a right to a ritual, in my opinion, blaming one another, both Republican and Democrat, for the inadequacies which we see both statewide and nationally. I intend to treat my campaign as an application of employment for the position of Roosevelt County Sheriff, in hopes that you, the voter, will recognize and support my qualifications for this important role. If you feel as I do that I am the most qualified candidate to be elected as your next Roosevelt County Sheriff, I ask that you cast your vote in my name, either in the June primary or, most importantly, during the November general election. My entire adult life has been dedicated to the service, whether it was serving my state through my enlistment with the New Mexico National Guard, through my country, through my enlistment with the U.S. Air Force, or through my service with the community via my 28 years of law enforcement services to the residents of Portales and Roosevelt County. I would greatly appreciate your consideration of my candidacy and ask that you select me as your next Roosevelt County Sheriff. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming this evening, and I wish you a great evening.
Thank you, Charles. If you pass that on over to Malin. Malin, again, 2 minutes to share with us your thoughts on the office of the Roosevelt County Sheriff.
Well, in closing, I'd just like to say what an awesome opportunity it's been to be a part of the Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office. As the Chief Deputy for the past 7 years, I've been involved in every aspect of the Sheriff's Office, to include policy making and implementation, scheduling, training, and overall leadership in the Sheriff's absence. I have produced budget requests and budget adherence. I'm not retired, nor will I be for some time. I am a resident of this county, and I feel as though I know what people expect out of the sheriff's office. So many times you see where law enforcement agencies are making the news, and it's not in a good way. Many agencies lose touch with the people they serve, and I don't want this for our office. When elected sheriff, I will continue to be accessible to the public I serve, just as we have been. I will continue to ensure that we have the best trained, best equipped, and best led employees possible. I also want to reaffirm my support for the Second Amendment, and I believe very strongly in the Constitution of the United States, and I feel that it's my job as sheriff to support and defend that Constitution. I ask that you vote for me, Malin Parker, for Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
All right, our candidates again for the Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office: on the left, Malin Parker, running on the Republican ticket. On the right, Charles Perez, running on the Democrat ticket. And a big round of applause for our two candidates for county sheriff. Once again, thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in or listening online,